Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the SmackDown review for the 5th of December, 2000 or 5th of November rather, 2021. There's no way this should be a national television program on network television. It's just abysmally bad. Anyway, there are some good things, but for the most part, the drop, and then they dropped 18 talents this week. I don't understand WWE. I've been a fan for 32 years, but if not for covering this and wanting to promote someday, I don't think I would even watch the program anymore. Universal Champion Roman Reigns comes out. SmackDown Tag Champs the Usos and Paul Heyman also make their way out. And Michael Cole notes that Reigns has held the championship for 432 days. That's a long time. They recapped King Woods knighting Sir Kofi and beating the Usos later in the same evening. Fans break into a loud "You suck" chant. Pat McCaffrey claimed they're chanting "Thank you, Roman," and Reigns notes that he wasn't on SmackDown last week because he took a vacation. After beating up Brock Lesnar, he demands the little no-name town acknowledge him, and they start to boo. Reigns then said he had a great week on vacation with his wife. Went on that Lesnar didn't have a good week because he got fined and suspended. Reigns then takes credit for Lesnar's suspension. And Reigns then asked Heyman what else happened last week. Heyman thought that they were talking about him and mentioned Caleb Braxton bothering him, and then realized that Reigns was in fact referring to the Usos losing to the New Day. Fans break into a New Day Rocks chant, and there we go. Reigns likes the New Day and thinks that they're entertaining, but they're also not better than the Bloodline. Reigns couldn't understand how the Usos lost and called them out. Called them the greatest tag team. He asked the Usos which of them got pinned last week, and they each pointed at each other. Jimmy admitted that he got pinned. The fans break into another New Day Rocks chant. Jimmy promised to make it up to Reigns by kicking the crown off of King Wood's head and making them acknowledge the tribal chief. The New Day's music hits and they make their way to the ring. Sir Kofi introduced King Woods. Woods assumed the king sits at the head of the table. The New Day mocks Reigns, and then the fans chant "New Day rocks." Woods then challenged Jimmy to make a match tonight and promised to acknowledge Reigns if he lost. However, if Jimmy loses, then Jimmy has to bend on knee to King Woods. Jimmy said he wouldn't bend his knee, and Jay agreed. Reigns then held his hand out, and Heyman yelled at Jay to put the mic in his hand. Reigns takes the mic and accepts the challenge. They recap Shayna Baszler beating Naomi last week with special referee Sonya Deville. They actually give Shayna and Naomi decent time, 6:19. It drags at moments, but for the most part, certainly more than Naomi's been allowed to do in months. Sonya Deville watches the match from the back. Kayla Braxton interviews Deville and asked about her vendetta against Naomi. Deville denied having a vendetta and takes credit for Naomi being more motivated now. Odd way to spin it, but anyway, Baszler attempts a submission, but Naomi breaks free, hits a drop kick for a near fall, and then fights back, catches Naomi with a release German suplex. Naomi sends her to the floor and nails her with a kick to the head and sends her into the apron ribcage first. Naomi follows up with a flying crossbody for near fall, attempts to plunge her to the floor, but Baszler avoids it. Naomi ends up being on the apron, but Baszler yanks it off and hits a wrench suplex. Back from the break, Naomi drops Baszler and on the apron and hits a sunset flip for near fall. Baszler then recovers and locks on the coquina clutch. Naomi reached the ropes, but Baszler then pulls away and Naomi slips out and rolls up Baszler for the win. Sonya Deville then walks out and notes that Naomi touched the ropes so that the hold should have been broken. DeVille then restarted the match, and Baszler immediately locks on the Gokina clutch for the win. In the back, Roman Reigns is angry. The Usos lost last week. He makes fun of Raw, and Jimmy laughed. Jay and Reigns are unhappy that Jimmy wasn't taking this all seriously. Jay and Jimmy promise to deal with the New Day later tonight. They promote Xia Li coming in to debut. I forgot she was still with the company with all the cuts they've been making. In the back, Caleb Braxton interviews Ridge Holland. Holland is excited to be on SmackDown because he can meet his idol Sheamus. Holland then talked about celebrating Sheamus beating John Cena to win the championship. They recap Charlotte Flair defeating Shotzi Blackheart last week and Shotzi attacking Sasha Banks. Megan interviews Shotzi. Shotzi notes that since coming to SmackDown, she's lost the tag title opportunities, lost her partner, and lost the fans' support. She promised to beat Banks and doesn't need the tank to do it. Los Lotharios, Carrillo, and Garza defeat Mansoor and Cesaro. 457, what a fall for Cesaro. Think about this. Less than a year ago, he was in there with Roman Reigns. Match did not get a great deal of time. Los Lotharios get the early advantage after hitting a double dropkick on Mansoor. Trapped in the Tree of Woe, the heels isolated Mansoor, cut him off from his corner. Garza then catches Mansoor with a basement dropkick for a near fall and locks on half crab. Mansoor breaks free with an enziguri, but couldn't make the tag. Mansoor fights back, and Cesaro finally getting the hot tag. Cesaro runs wild and hits a series of uppercuts on Carrillo. Follows up with a running uppercut on Garza on the floor, then hits a springboard twisting uppercut on Carrillo. Garza then jumps back in the ring, but Cesaro catches him with a giant swing. Carrillo breaks up the giant swing, but Mansoor jumps back into the ring, and Cesaro saves Mansoor. But Carrillo hits Cesaro with a super kick and then bumps into Mansoor. Garza and Carrillo then hit a drop kick for the win for Cesaro. In the back, Caleb Braxton tries to interview Jeff Hardy. Hardy is in the middle of a conversation with Aaliyah. Can't believe she's on SmackDown, but she is. And introduces her. Moments later, Sami Zayn talks to Aaliyah and then gives her some advice on what to wear. This is stupid. Drew McIntyre defeats Ricochet 340. Can't believe this match is happening. McIntyre and Ricochet have a decent enough spot fest while it lasts. McIntyre comes to the ring and demands someone accept his open challenge. Ricochet's music hits, although I can't believe that he hasn't been let go either. Makes his way to the ring. He warns McIntyre that his name, peck flexing, and catchphrases won't stop him from slapping McIntyre in the face. Ricochet then slaps McIntyre, and it's on from there. McIntyre is angry, backs Ricochet into the corner and throws him across the ring. Ricochet then fights back and sets McIntyre to the floor. Ricochet attempts a Rana off the apron, but McIntyre catches him, slams Ricochet into the apron. McIntyre then throws Ricochet across the ring again. He leaps top rope, but Ricochet catches him with a drop kick. They show Mustafa Ali watching the match in the back, apparently hyping a eventual match with Mustafa Ali and Ricochet again. I think they've wrestled plenty of times before. Anyway, Ricochet catches McIntyre with a springboard. Crossbody hits a standing shooting star press. McIntyre stands up and hits a brainbuster for near fall. Finish comes when Ricochet goes for a moonsault. McIntyre hits a Claymore kick in midair for the win. And it looked good from a finish standpoint, but why give them 4 minutes on a national program where they desperately need more wrestling and better stories? Anyway, in the back, Caleb Braxton interviews the New Day. Kingston calls Braxton the town gossip. Woods then promises to defeat Jimmy Uso and make him bend his knee. Back from the break, Mustafa Ali approaches Ricochet in the locker room, asked him to form a tag team next week. Ricochet turned him down and calls him a jerk. Ali didn't appreciate the comment, obviously. Then Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss mock Shinsei Nakamura and Boogs, making some jokes and laughs uncontrollably. Corbin then introduced the guests, and the Viking Raiders make SmackDown a debut. Moss notes the Viking Raiders don't seem happy. Eric said that they're not there to be happy, and Ivar added that they were there to raid Happy Talk. And then Corbin and Moss mocked the Viking Raiders and made some awful puns. The Raiders then didn't appreciate the comedy and starts destroying the set. The Viking Raiders defeated Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss. Count out 5-14, longer than you would expect this match to go. At this point, SmackDown's starting to feel long, dragging into a lame finish. Viking Raiders have an early advantage. Heels take over. Moss slows the pace of the match down with a side headlock, but Ivar breaks free. Eric then slams Ivar into Moss for a near fall. Corbin then causes distraction. Moss hits Spinebuster on Eric to regain control. Corbin then hits an around the ring post clothesline on Eric for a near fall, but Ivar breaks up the pin attempt. Moss then took Ivar out of the ring, and Corbin hits a deep six for a near fall. Eric foot back, and Ivar gets the hot tag. Anyway, Ivar then hits a flying crossbody for on Moss and sends Corbin to the floor. Ivar avoids Corbin with a cartwheel, and Eric hits a suplex on Corbin. Eric then gives Moss a power bomb, but struggles to get him up and almost drops Moss on his head. Ivar climbs to the top rope, but Corbin pulls Moss out of the ring. Corbin and Moss then walk out and lose by countout. Sami Zayn ran into Hit Row backstage. Zayn claimed Hit Row's debut last week was horrible. Ashante the Adonis was offended, and he gets in Zayn's face. Top Dollar stops him. Top Dollar then asks Zayn to show them how to do an entrance. Zayn agreed and starts walking to the ring. Sami Zayn and Hit Row have a completely useless time-wasting segment. And then Sami Zayn makes his entrance and dances on the stage. He jumps, rolls around the stage. He brags about his entrance and notes the true superstar that he is. Zayn believes he should lead Hit Row and introduces them. At first, Hit Row praises Zayn, but then starts making fun of him. They note that he didn't need to lead them. Top Dollar added that Zayn is horrible, and then there's a Sammy Sucks chant in the crowd, and he walks out on Hit Row. In the back, Jimmy and Jay get pumped up for Jay's match. Jimmy asks Roman if he's coming with them, but Roman decides that he stays in the back. Your, I guess, main event of this program is King Woods with Sir Kofi defeating Jimmy Uso with Jey Uso 10:32. They work hard, and they have a decent enough match. Not sure that tag guys should be in a singles match to close the show. Woods goes for a pin and rolls Jimmy up for a 2 count. Woods then follows up with a side Russian leg sweep and a basement dropkick for near fall. Jay yells at Jimmy to get his head in the contest. Jimmy then drags Woods across the top rope and gains control briefly. Jimmy then leaps over the top rope, but Woods continues with a drop kick and counters. With that drop kick, Jimmy then fights out and sends Woods to the floor. Back from the break, Woods hits a crossbody for near fall, but Jimmy then manages to fight back with Enziguri, and Enziguris are popular moves this evening. He follows up with a splash in the corner and a running knee for a near fall. Jimmy then slows the pace down. Chinlock. Fans break into it. Another New Day Rocks chant. Seems to be the most popular chant of the evening. Woods breaks free and hits a super kick. Jimmy then goes for a back suplex, but Woods escapes and hits another super kick. He drops Jimmy on the top rope and then hits a running knee. Woods follows up with a drop kick through the ropes, and Woods hits a leg drop off the top rope for close near fall. Woods climbs back to the top rope, but Jay causes a disruption. Jimmy takes advantage and hits a Samoan drop off the second turnbuckle for a close near fall. Then Jimmy goes for the Uso splash. Woods gets his feet up and Woods avoids a super kick, but Jimmy goes to the eyes. Jimmy rolls him up and the referee catches the Usos cheating. Woods takes advantage and rolls up Jimmy for the win. Post-match, Jimmy is about to bend his knee when Roman runs out and hits a spear on Woods. The Bloodline beats down Woods and Kingston. Usos nail Woods with double suplex. Reigns hits another spear. Usos then attack Kingston's leg and force Woods to watch. Jay locked on the half grab and Jimmy hits the Usos splash. Reigns yells at Woods that he's going to show him a real king next week. Reigns and the Usos celebrate over the New Day, and SmackDown ends. Not a national level program, I'm sorry. With so much talent out there, this is just abysmally bad. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.